What's going on? TikTok, YouTube is your boy AMK Raw AMUN here, and I have nothing but facts as always, and I do research to make sure I know what I'm talking about. So I've seen videos, and I've been had these downloads. I want to say like since 2023, and it's real. The video about the sun becoming hotter and becoming all the corona, the coronal mass injections, how all this stuff plays out, and it came out to proof of why religion is going to be conquered. Satellites are going to be conquered. Um, EMPs are going to be, well, not EMPs, but electromagnetics, the false ones, they're going to be destroyed, shut down, and like it's about to be a whole magical war. Like, and people, you think that people are fighting, people aren't fighting. It's actually they're battling an entity, which is the sun, which is a real person, and we're the physical version of the source, which is the sun. So let me just get into it for you guys, right? uh all right, for some reason, remember they say you can't say ovid 19. So when I say this, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's weird that that's banned, but you could say nigga, you could talk about death, you could talk about bitches and hoes, but you can't say that word, which is very weird to me. But let's get into it, right? Ovid 19, right? An acute, and nobody knows what acute means. It means bad, difficult, or unwelcome, right? Acute disease in humans caused by coronaviruses, right? If you don't know what corona means, we're gonna get there, right? Coronavirus, which is characterized mainly by fever, something that heats up, right, and coughs, which comes out, right? If something heating up and then boiling up, you're gonna cough it out, right? Remember, it's heat, cold are just the same thing. They're just temperatures. The carrier of these things is what matters on the effect, right? So I could be hot or cold depending on the intensity of them, and how I carry it is how it affects me, right? When you get too hot, you notice you have you start sweating out all the impurities. So the sun is a purifier, right? It's also pure. It's we're gonna get there. So um, it's capable of progressing to severe symptoms and to some cases death, right? So if you're something that's unnatural, it will affect you. And this is what they don't want you to know, or what they don't want to tell you. So let's get to corona, right? Because corona itself, and then virus, right, added to it, right? Corona, a part of the body resembling or likened to a crown, right? Highest points of the head, also the chakra, representing the highest connection of power, right? So you know your your crown chakra is the highest chakra, which is the level of the highest point you want to reach, right? The sun reaches the highest point, right? So as religion, right? You know how they say, I say the consciousness. I don't like to say the name because it's giving power to a Greek god, but the consciousness of the mighty man, right, or of the sun, right, is the is king, right, who wears the crown. Heavy is he who wears the crown, right? Also, um, to get to that point of carbon, right? Carbon 12, right? Carbon is something that the sun generates, like the 666, right? Six protons, six neutrons, six electrons, right? All of that turns into carbon 12. You could read this up, right? So you got the sun, which is carbon, and the 12 components that add up into it, the protons and the neutrons, right? When you have the sun and the 12 disciples, you get what I'm saying? It's the same comparison as carbon 12. This is how you know the man was black, right? In the physical form, right? Just like the sun looks white, but it really generates from the what? Black sun. Okay? Keep up with me, right? It's so funny how people purposely willingly give themselves to to get their power taken. Basically, like, here you go. I don't want it. Here you go. You get what I mean? And there's no consequences or repercussions for giving up something that is your free will, and you do it willingly. It takes away from you, right? Keep up with me. So, coronal mass injection, okay? A massive explosion of plasma. What has plasma in it naturally? Your blood, right? Exactly, your blood. Plasma and magnetic fields, right? From the sun corona or upper atmosphere. So these things are going to affect with your aura, your energy field, all that type of stuff. You get what I'm saying? Is going to have an effect towards you as a person. This is why they tell you you got to ground. You got to eat healthy. What electrifies you, right? 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. What electrifies you is the fruit that you eat. So you're supposed to eat fruits that bear seed, right? And then you go out in the sun and then you grow. There's a difference between melanin and neuromelanin. Everybody has melanin in different shapes and different forms and different colors of the melanin, right? And melanin means you could just take the sun, you could take intensive heat for a very long time. Neuromelanin means you are enhancing the light that the sun is giving and the radiation, and it's sending information to your crown, to the highest points of your being. This is why you have to have your chakras aligned. You have your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, which is your belly, right? Your heart chakra, which is green, right? And then you have your throat chakra, which is blue, right? And then you have your third eye, and then you have your crown chakra. This in your vertebrae, your 33 vertebrae, is what the Kundalini wraps up to go to hit its highest format. This is where you got to understand, right? The Bible explains this in people form. So people are the physical carriers of the story. You get what I'm saying? But I'll get into that later. Blood in the body has plasma, bloodlines of the sun, the neuromelanin sons, daughters, aka Neterus or Negirs, which is masculine and feminine points of the highest points. It's not even, God is just a title. Negirs and Neterus are part of the Neter, which are supernatural beings. Okay, and they come from the sun. Now keep up. The earth is the carrier, right? Now, solar flares. For those who don't understand what a solar flare is, an intense burst of radiation coming from releasing of magnetic energy associated with sunspots disrupts radio, satellites, power lines, and all technology unnatural to the planet, aka Kai, aka Gaia, aka Earth. Now, what nobody understands is these electromagnetics are coming from carbon. So who do you think are the carbonated beings supporting the power grid, the false power grid? Us. That's what people don't understand. It's us, right? How the 666 works, right? In the book, it never said it was nothing bad. It never said it was nothing evil. But they indoctrinated it in a physical form where you think it was bad when really it was you. So you're going against yourself. You get what I'm saying? They said that the person would know all knowledges and would know all how to count out all the beasts. You feel what I'm saying? So this is deep when you really take a moment, pause, and think about it. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. A perfect way to explain this, right? If I go hit somebody, right, and I know they're gonna go and tell mommy, I'm gonna run to mommy and tell her first, so her perception is already that I did wrong, even though I did wrong. So you see what I'm saying? You can't. A lot of people act like there's a difference between a psychic and a fortune teller, right? A psychic is somebody who's seen it and they don't understand how it's going to evolve, but they seen it. A fortune teller is somebody who makes sure it plays how they seen it or how they want to see it. So for example, I want to see these headphones in the sky, right? I have a vision that these headphones are going to go into the sky, and then I throw it up into the sky, right? That's fortune telling. That's not actually being psychic at all. It has nothing to do with psychic. Now, if I said this is gonna fall out the sky, I had a dream that this fell out the sky. I ain't gonna know when it's gonna come or when it's gonna happen. But when it does happen, I'm like, yo, I had a vision that this would happen. You're shocked, you're surprised. You see what the difference between telling something in advance and making sure it happens that way. So when it does happen, you think it's real. You guys gotta keep up, right? So the reason why I say we're gonna have powers, which I can explain by the solar flares, when it destroys all this technology, right? You're gonna realize everything was made out of you. They dissected bodies of these beings. They used the body parts of these beings. They ate in the body parts of these beings. They've done some sick stuff to these supernatural beings who come from the source of the sun. This is why we were called sun people. This is why the Bible was called, before you knew anything, it was the Helios Biblicos, which talks about the sun. This is why they say those who have a soul, S-O-U-L or S-O-L, in Latin, soul means sun. You get what I'm saying? So, um, when those power grids go off, like I've been saying in my videos ahead of time, you can see when the magnetic energy field pops up, there's something that's keeping this body to look how it looks, right? But there's no telling. You could have wings, you could have claw, you could look totally different, but the electromagnetics keep you looking how you look. That's why I said when they destroyed the unnatural ones, bro, some of us might fly, some of us might have wings, some of us might have heat vision through our eyes, some of us might have vein. You just won't know because there's magnetics that keep you in this structure, in this form. Your spirit combined with human has different forms. Remember, you got this is forming in one form, but your spirit, it's holding a spirit that is formless, that can have any form or take over any form. This is why the true meaning of the Bible back then, when the original wording of it, right, which is not Hebrew, it's the Phoenicians, right? So to explain the Hebrew and the Phoenicians, right? If I say, you know how people be like, oh, that's a Spanish person. That's not a language person. They're Latin. You get what I'm saying? That's a Latino. That's a Latina. That's how they got the Phoenicians and the Hebrews mixed up. Hebrews is a race. Phoenicians is the language, right? And in the Phoenician language, it didn't say, when Moses asked God, who are you? He didn't say, I am what I am. He said, I am whoever I choose to be. Spirit, you get what I'm saying? But they put it in a physical form, so you don't use your actual third eye and your intelligence. You use your visual points, which can be tricked. You get what I'm saying? This is already flipped upside down. So it's true. The true point is south is really up, north is really down. Um, uh, Down is really up is really down. You get what I'm saying? That's how because we're flipped. So this is why the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body. The left side brain controls the right side of the body. So those who think they're left-handed might be actually right-handed. Those who think they're right-handed might actually be left-handed, depending on the form or the turning spot. You can literally change your form. It's literally right there in your face. But back to the point with the sun, right? Because I'm explaining how the religion part makes no sense when it comes physically, but it also tells you the truth, because you can't, in a lie there's a truth, in a truth there's a lie. Without them, you don't balance out nothing. You get what I mean? There's nothing to discover if it's the truth. Now, if it's a lie, there's something to discover always. So it's an ongoing cycle, right? But you're supposed to hit the point of divinity or middle point, right? Where you come to, I understand what this is, and I know what that is, and I know how that works, and I know how this works. You feel me? So, the sun energy comes from nuclear fusion, right? It is an core. It is a core that is processed, and a core means it's in the center of the sun. That process involves the fusion of hydrogen atoms. Remember I told you guys oxygen is man-made, hydrogen is real. It's like the real it's like the real air. Back then they breathed in hydrogen. This is why people were bigger, right? And they actually lasted longer. Leaves, for example, on trees, right? Oxygen makes them turn brown, just like a bike, right? If you leave a bike in hydrogen, it will never get rusty. If you leave a bike out in oxygen, that type of water form causes those type of water particles causes things to rust. So this is how we went from green to brown. Nobody believes me, but this type of brown is a rusting color because we're breathing in oxygen. If we were breathing in hydrogen, we'd be green like Asar, aka most people know him as Osiris. We'd be green, or some of us will be other colors depending on magnesium or how much hydrogen we take in, right? But oxygen rusts things. This is why green leaves turn brown. You get my point? So, nuclear, where was I? Oh yeah, so hydrogen atoms into helium, releasing huge, and what does helium does? It causes things to rise and float up. You get what I'm saying? Releasing huge amounts of energy in the form of light and heat. What rises? Heat, right? What shines? Light. What is that? The sun. You get what I'm saying? But the inner core is actually, no, it's crazy. The inner core is actually, it said it wouldn't burn you instantly, even though it's at 2 million degrees. It's like 2 something million degrees. It's hot. It's super hot, but it don't burn you instantly, right? It's the magnitude around it that heats it up, and eventually you'll be fried in seconds, like seconds, right? Keep up though. Carbon 12, nuclear fusion, right? Nuclear fusion itself is it's basically infinite amount of energy. It's abundant, but they haven't figured out how to harness that energy. That's why you see they're trying to go off on electric grids, and they're creating a neural link instead of neuromelanin. It's a mimic of what people are naturally are. They're trying to connect that, which is kind of like the mark, if you want to say, right? Because you get the neural link, you can imitate melanin, right? It can imitate it perfectly, right? And it can grow the genes that it needs to become survivable when the sun comes and destroys everything unnatural. This is why they put that injection in you. You get what I'm saying? So it can actually kill off all that's naturally in you, mimic it, take it, send the information back. You get what I'm saying? And then they can mimic it so they can survive. Because let's be real, if you're not natural to this planet, the sun's gonna burn your ass up, and this is why they're trying to put a golden dome on the on a golden dome up, so the sun can actually reflect back back its energy instead of putting it into the neuromelanin gods or Netarus or Najirs, right? Keep up with me, right? So carbon 12, right, is 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, right? Now this is going to get to the religious point, right? The Father is the source. Just think about this. And it's the Son, right? The Father is the source, right? The Son as the man, you know what I'm saying? You guys can call the name. I'm not giving no power to it. But the man, physical man in the Bible, who is the Son or the King or, you know, the Christ, he's the physical version of the Son. This is why there's no difference or no separation from the two. You get what I'm saying? You have him and the 12 disciples. Carbon and the 12 attributes, the protons and neutrons that induce around the sun. You get what I'm saying? So, you got the crown, right? This is why they say they can't wait for him to return or this and this and that. We already here. It's another format of us, right? But they turn the SUN to the SON, and this is why you're confused, because you're thinking it's a physical thing. No, it is, but it's a physical version of the source. So the sun is the Father, right? The earth is the mother, right? Which carries the supernatural gods, right? And the moon is a reflection of both. That's what nobody gets. The real moon is the reflection of both. There's multiple moons. This is why you have new ones and all this stuff. There's multiple moons, but the right one is a reflection of the mother and the son. This is why you have moon children, right? Or a moon child. When they grow, they end up growing into a sun being on earth, which makes them supernatural. This is why your body can take your body, for the neuromelanin people, they can sense the universe or what the earth is trying to tell them, which is mother nature is talking to the mother neters or negirs or neterus, right, of the earth. And the sun is also, well, not the son, but the sun, which is the father, the source, is giving you information and universal information too. This is why you could talk to the father or the mother, but they take away the mother, right? And as you can see in life, who's the ones who going through the most problems with when it comes to relationships, fathers and mothers? It's us, the neuromelanin gods and gods and goddesses, or neterus and negirs of this planet. We're the supernatural beings. This is why you find us having more abortions. This is why you find us having more separation. This is why you find us cheating more than anybody on this planet, because we actually are the ones being affected by these things, right? It's more likely someone who looks like me doesn't have their father or doesn't have their mother. You can't get both, and it's very rare. And for those who do, I salute you 100%, because that is great. That is a beautiful thing to stay connected in these times when the whole world is against that, because that is a powerful foundation. So, this is why I tell people, you notice it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Do not reject the sun. You were trained to reject the sun. You need to go out there at its hottest moments and let everything sweat out of you. Eventually, it's not going to have no effect on you. Think about how much we take in, so many toxins we take in daily, right? This is how you know we end up, we have impurities. It's going to come out of our bodies and then sweat out. Right? Even that mass injection, if you do it enough to get out there, all of that stuff will get out of you. Why do you think they needed the booster? You see what I'm saying? Because it wasn't enough. So you have to take the booster to keep it maintained. This is why I tell people, like, people get mad or they feel some type of way, like, now I had to work a job, I had to this and this and that. You're materialistic. You are everything. When you realize, this is what nobody gets. I can even put it for Christians, right? They'll be like, oh, I can't wait for God to destroy this system, right? I can't wait for God to this and this and that, right? But then when God, right, is coming to actually to do these things, you're like, but my house, but what about my car? But what about my nice things and this and this and that? You're not gonna make it. I can give you that example. You're not gonna make it. You're materialistic. How can you ask the Father or God or the source to come and destroy these systems, and when he comes to destroy the system, you're worried about the things you got? You see my point? We are coming to a point where everybody's hitting this knowledge. Everybody's getting it. And I just gave you a format to break it down. You can watch this video 1,000 times. You're going to understand what I'm saying, right? So, you got the sun is the father, the earth is the mother, the moon is the reflection of both, right? The supernatural beings is the physical form of the father and the mother, causing divinity. You get what I'm saying? So everybody has to understand that you're not human, right? Or African or Mexican or Canadian. All these ANs are man-made factors. You're universal, you're celestial, you're physical, you're spiritual, you're sexual. All these ALs, you're part of the all. You're infinite. You get what I'm saying? So I hope this is like helping you understand shit in a whole nother format so you can really get it. Even if you're not spiritual, even if you're a Christian, you got to understand, don't look at it's metaphoric. It's not actually something that if you're sitting and you're waiting for information to come, it's not going to happen. You get what I'm saying? You have to go to it. This is why they got you out here seeking, preaching the truth for other people to wait and stop and to give their power up to something that belongs to them. You get what I'm saying? But hey, Amun is the one. He's coming as Amun Ra, right? Amun is a wind deity, which wind you don't see, but you feel it, can see it, and you could feel the power, right? And the sun, which is Ra, you can actually see the power. So wake up, man. The gods and goddesses are returning, right? And the supernatural beings of those, we don't have, they're not our, we don't serve, we don't do none of that stuff. They are us. They are our ancestors. They are our family. They're our great, 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 great grandmothers and grandfathers and brothers and sisters. Religion makes you serve, right? It realigns your legion to something outside of you, and you give up yourself to it. Peace, I say.